For today, in the name of freedom, we take the battle to them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final season of Squid Game has finally released on Netflix, and my god, what a season. So, I am just going to preface this by giving you my opinion on the previous seasons, because I don't think I did a video on either of the seasons. Well, the first one definitely not, but the second one I don't think so. The first season I quite enjoyed, and honestly, the best way to sum up that first season is a great show if you ignore how people hyped it up. I mean, this thing became the most watched Netflix season of all time. It still holds that record. And it just sucks because people went on about this thing like it was the best thing since sliced bread. But if you just ignore that, then the show just became so much better. Season 2, though, I just don't understand how people prefer this to season 1. I don't care that the seasons released like only 6 months apart. Ending season 2 the way that it did, well, that they did, was terrible. Just ending it right there, as if this was some sort of grand scheme of part 1, part 2. No, no, no. Just don't. Season 2 is easily the weakest season. The characters here, I didn't care for them as much as the ones in the previous season, but I like the mom. The son, I didn't really like. I wasn't crazy about. I only didn't want him to die because I didn't want to see the mom be upset. The transgender woman, I forgot her name, but she was easily, easily the best new character last season. She was so good. And, obviously, I'm not a part of that community, but just from my perspective, this was like the best representation that I have seen of a transgender character. And the reason why I say that is not just my opinion, but I've seen a lot of people like her who have said the same thing. And that's how it was done well, because a lot of times in current movies and shows and stuff, they just shove in whatever sort of characters they're like, yeah, see, representation. They'll put in a gay character, they'll put in like characters of all different races together, and they'll be like, yeah, see, look, we're being inclusive, but they won't actually make the characters interesting. Here, they did it so well. It was heartbreaking with her story in season 2. The pregnant girl and the MG Coin dude, I didn't particularly care for their story, and I was so wrong in my predictions for this season. So wrong. I mean, I did a short on it, and I was like, oh yeah, well, obviously, he's gonna sacrifice himself for his girlfriend or the baby. No. I mean, spoilers for season 3, obviously, in this video. But this man was gonna kill the baby. What the fuck? I mean, episode 1 was pretty solid. It was very good. One thing that I loved is that between the beginning of episode 1 and the end of episode 2, Gion only says like maybe 2 or 3 sentences, and he is freaking terrifying. He is so freaking creepy, and I loved it. His death stare towards the guy that didn't get the magazines. Oh my god. Nah. As soon as they said in I think it was the 4th game, because we only had 3 last time. As soon as they said in the 4th game, oh yeah, your job is to kill the blues, and he looked at him, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be targeted as fuck. Holy shit. And I'm glad that they didn't pull some sort of character development bullshit on us of Gyun having him right where he wants him, and then all of a sudden he'll just spare him. I mean, he was going to be fair. But no, they actually go through with it. He does strangle him in the next episode. But yeah, episode 1, I think, was just a great epilogue to season two's finale. I think it was fantastic, but I really should not be praising it given the way that season two ended. I hated that, absolutely hated it. Then, oh my god, episode two. This broke my heart. I'm tearing up thinking about it now. I had tears. I knew it was gonna be sad, but I had tears rolling down my face when the freaking MG coin stabbed her. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name. I want to call her TG. But I don't want to. I feel bad constantly calling her the transgender woman. I feel like TG sounds cooler. Is that insensitive and will probably get me cancelled and murdered? Probably. But look, there's no winning. But anyway, um, yeah, he freaking kills her, and my heart shattered in that moment because honestly, if there was no music, I think that would have gotten the biggest reaction out of me as far as shock value goes because you can very much hear the music sort of go from cheerful and everything to dark and worrisome, before that happens. But what makes it worse, and it's a shame that um his girlfriend, let me actually look at the freaking names of the characters so I can actually name them. Junhee, that's it. I'm upset that Junhee didn't bring it up, that it was an unnecessary kill as well. He killed her for nothing because Junhee heard that Myungji? Uh, I'm just gonna call it MG Coin. Oh god, I sound like Thanos now, but yeah, she knew that MG Coin had already passed. She knew that he, had passed. He didn't need to kill anyone else. But because of that son of a bitch, big four-headed motherfucker who was Thanos' like right-hand man, he was like, let's kill more people. And I can't believe that Myungji actually went along with it. And he killed her for nothing. He killed TG for no reason. But it wasn't. It's not just that. Whenever a character dies in a movie or a show, it is very rarely the actual death of the character that makes me emotional. It's the other character's reactions to said death. And the mum, I think, was easily the MVP of this season. I say that she only lasts like three, four. She only lasts like 3 episodes, but she was easily the MVP. Her acting was amazing. She really poured her heart and soul into every scene, and she was so good. But yeah, I kind of like this game where they had to like run around and find, like the red team had to find the blue team. But yeah, we lose some characters here. Daeho obviously gets strangled. Gyun was about to take his own life, which was crazy. And he says it's all my fault. I'm pretty sure that's like the first thing he says that episode. So there was that. We lost TG, and then oh my god, we get the most satisfying death of the show, of this season at least, and that is that stupid ass shaman woman. Oh my god! I first of all, I loved the hilarious moment earlier on when Hyungji and the big forehead guy are just going around killing people. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's this room with all her little cult followers." And she like walks into the room. We don't see what happens, and she just walks out without saying anything. And then they just come out and just kill all her followers. That was such a freaking hilarious moment. And then even better is when she finds player 100, or when, well, they find each other, and he goes through and just closes the door. And I'm like, yeah, fuck your gods, bitch. And then friggin' Minsu, what happened to this guy? I mean, I never liked him, obviously. I mean, he let I think the name was Semi, I think. Semi Circle. Semi so uncalled for. I'm so sorry. He just let her die, which, sure, you could make your arguments. Oh, what was he supposed to do? He could have tried. Okay, she was gorgeous and she was kind and she was basically perfect to him. And he just let her die, which honestly was unexpected. And I was really confused as to why he was acting that way. Of like, where where's Semi? Uh, Namgu, isn't it? What was his name? Namsu or Namgu? I forgot, the big forehead guy, because I remember Thanos kept calling him Namsu, I think. But yeah, he was like, Namgu was the killer. I was like, what is this all on? And then I realized, oh, he's using the freaking like pull things. So there was that, and he kills her. Thank God. It's a shame that we don't get to actually witness her death, because we see her get stabbed, but we don't see her die. Because this is when they decide to switch to Minsu's perspective, and they show her Semi die. Well, they show her, and I was quite upset that we never got to see that. But anyway, there was that, and the one that ended the episode. Oh my god! So at this point, Junhee has given birth to the kid, right? And one of the only people left who hasn't killed someone was Youngsik, I believe. Youngsik? I don't know. But basically, he's the son, right? And he goes to Junhee, obviously the killer, and his mom just steps in front of him. And honestly, I was sitting there being like, okay, she's obviously gonna grab his hand with the knife and pull it into her. She's gonna like make it look like he killed her. But no, no, she stabs him with her like needle thing, and I gasped so loudly, and that scene was devastating. I don't actually know between this and TG's death which was worse. Um oh my god, it was so sad. And it does, I wouldn't say it makes season 2 better, but it makes season 2 feel like less worthless, because season 2 was just very much like, oh my god, please just get to it. We've been through this before. Please, we've had the fights, we've had the red light, green light. Please just do something unique and different. And then, here it actually does sort of feel like season 2 had consequences. Emotional consequences, that is, because of course we were with the mom and the son the whole time that season, and we knew one of them was going to die. And honestly, I thought it was going to be the mom. Oh my god. Not only does she stab her son and essentially kills him, he's still slightly alive. Obviously, the guards technically kill him, but that happens. They shoot him in front of her. And then obviously at the in the next episode, she hangs herself. I could not believe it. And I think that was very important for Gion, obviously, because the entire time he's just sitting there handcuffed, not saying anything, not really acknowledging anybody, no matter how kind they are. But only when she brings up the fact that she killed her own son in the last game is when he starts paying attention. But even then, he has no hope. And she's clearly begging for his help, and she loses all hope. And she offs herself. That, oh my god, that was absolutely horrific to watch. I could not believe that, especially given how much he was, caring for Junhee and the baby. I was like, obviously, they're gonna keep her around for a bit longer. And no, no, she was gone. I'm sorry for not sounding energetic. It's just it's very it was very sad. It was very sad. I'm not gonna be here being like, and then the freaking mom died, guys. Oh my god, she stabbed her son and then she offed herself. Oh my god, I'm not gonna be like that, because it was sad. It really, really was, and it was good. I wouldn't say, I know that that was episode 3, but episode 2, it was sort of like the more, it was like season 1 episode 6, but for these characters. It wasn't as heartbreaking, the girl that Sabyok went against, the one that sacrificed herself for Sabyok, that was horrific. Same with Ali getting getting cheated out of the game. Ilnam, of course, that whole episode was just, it had everyone being an emotional mess. But really, for the rest of the season, we have some interesting things happening. So, the VIPs. The VIPs are brought in a strange way. And obviously, I see a white guy, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Why is there an American here? And I genuinely had to check to be like, because this was the beginning of the episode, right? I was like, wait, I am on Korean, right? I'm on the original. I'm not watching the dubbed. And yes, it was the original. And then the VIPs. I know people really did not like the VIPs in the last season. I didn't really mind them. But this season, oh my god. Not the last season, in season one. This season's one though, oh my god, they were so annoying. Like the dialogue was so painful to sit through. But regardless, I will say that that woman had a very sexy voice. They deliberately made her voice way louder and way clearer than the than the guys. With the guys, it sounded like they were just recording what was happening there. But for the woman, it was like, oh yeah, they really put her up and close to the mic so that they can hear every single thing that she says so clearly and so loudly. It was like, I don't know why I said the word loudly when I was talking softly. But anyway, that leads us to the next game, which was basically a scarier version of the glass bridge. Now, this one, I will say, is fair. And that is something that the show sort of breaks the rules of, is this idea of fairness. The glass bridge, while a completely broken game, because it is complete luck, it is still fair. Everyone has a 50-50 shot of getting it. No one knows which one it was. Here, again, pretty fair, because you have to jump to miss the jump rope. And I love that they bring the doll in. And, bro, the freaking death here was just ridiculous. Because obviously, Gion had to jump across with the baby, which was unbelievable. But then after that, most people make it across. And Junhee sacrifices herself. She dies. I mean, obviously, there was no chance of her making it across. There was no chance of that happening. But my God, what a death! That was a sad death. Honestly, it really, really was. But regardless, moving on. Let me just start talking about some of the other storylines we had going on. So, the whole Noel storyline, right? The guard. So I saw people theorize that player 246, the cancer kid's dad, was shot in a non-fatal place, and I didn't really believe it. And now it seems that yes, that was true. She killed all the people who were part of this organ black market thing, and ultimately he got away. He got saved by Junho. And honestly, this whole storyline with Noel, while it wasn't particularly interesting, it did have a satisfying end, I will say. But Junho's storyline has got to be the most sickening thing about this show. Oh my god. Season 1 already made it kind of pointless because he makes it to the top, he gets shot by his brother, and that's it. Then, season 2, he spends the entire season trying to find this island, and then we learn at the end that the captain is with the game. Then season 3, what's his storyline? He's looking for the island, and then when he finally finds the island, he's on it for like 10 seconds, realizes there's a bomb, and then leaves the island. Oh my god. It was the most annoying storyline. It was so fucking pointless that nothing good came from this. The entire point of this was just to have him find player 246 and save him. That was it. It had absolutely nothing to do with anything else. And that plays into the ending, which I will get into later. But my god, this is something that'll stop me. I will never rewatch seasons 2 and 3. Season 1, maybe. Season 2 and 3, absolutely not. Just for the storyline, because it is so annoying. But, one thing that I would love to talk about, is what they do with the baby. And I was really curious as to what this was going to be. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I saw the first trailer for the season, and the title card popped up, and the screen went to black, and I heard a baby crying, I genuinely thought that there was going to be a baby be a part of the game, and the players had to like play to save the baby's life. I thought they were gonna like put a baby's life at risk in a game. I don't know what was wrong with me. But anyway, moving on from that. Obviously, Junhee dying eliminates player 222. But they decide, you know what? Let's keep the baby in. Just for a bit of chaos, you know? You know, Inho likes that chaos. And my god, this creates for some of the fucking funniest moments of this show. I believe both from the same episode. So, this is the episode when we are about to go to the final game, and they just finished the previous one, right? The jumping rope one. And they're like, wait, why the fuck does the baby count as a player? That's unfair. And they're doing the votes, and and the god says something like player 222. This will count as an abstinent or what the fuck? Abstention. I don't know why I couldn't think of the noun there. This it will be concluded as an abstention due to its ability not to make decisions. Bro, I was dying. Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious. I love that. There was that. And then when they were bringing everyone food at the table, they bring the baby milk. Oh my god, it was absolutely hilarious. It was so good. But yeah, we had a lot more players this time for the final game as opposed to last time. With season 1, we only had 3. You know, it was only Sangwoo, Saebyok, and Gion. And this time we had like 9. We had like a bunch of randos. Player 100, who is fucking sickening. MG Coin, the baby, and Gion. So we then move on to said last game. And this was pretty crazy, honestly. I am so happy that they just killed off Minsu. He was such an annoying ass character. And oh my god, it was so good to see him fall. It was so nice. Where they had to like knock off at least one person every shape. And then you get to the next one. And this is like something so stupid from Gion, honestly, where they like beat that guy and they break his leg and everything. And I'm like, dude, just like mercy kill. Honestly, they've already beaten him up. Just kill him already. Why are you making this more difficult? And it all ends up being pointless anyway, because then him and MG Coin guy and the baby are the only ones that are going to make it to the next shape. And that is when they just make you absolutely hate this fucker with every bone in your body. And he reveals that he is going to kill the baby so that he can take all the money for himself. Oh my god. I mean, I never liked this guy. You know, like in the first episode, or like the first little interactions that he had with Junhee, I was like, okay, they might redeem this guy. Nope. Nope. After that, I was like, oh my god, he's such a fucking dick. He sucks. After this and killing TG, I was like, nah. This guy has to get like a fucking painful death. And I'm glad that he got to hang on to that jacket. You know, it wasn't like a quick, oh, just thrown over and dead. I'm glad he got to hang for a bit. Little fucker. And honestly, that entire time when Gyun jumps over and gets the knife, I'm like, wait, buddy, it's not gonna count. Press the button. Press the fucking button. And then after MG Coin dies and he looks at the button, I'm like, yeah, now what? So yeah, I mean that was a pretty crazy fight. Which, speaking of the knife, I hated that. I absolutely hated this. And this again, as I was mentioning earlier, with the like them being very wishy-washy with the rules of fairness. At some point, I believe it was episode 4 or 5, episode 4, at the end, the frontman calls Gihun in and he gives him a knife and he's like, "You can kill all these guys and save you and the baby." And he actually reveals himself. I was very upset that they showed this in like the second trailer or whatever it was, that they showed the scene. Like, why would that's such a big moment? Why would you show that? But regardless, this entirely goes against the whole thing with the frontman, because the frontman clearly, he is genuine about his love and respect for the game and its fairness. Like in season one, when the when the people who were doing this whole black market thing with the organs recruited the doctor and were giving him like tips about the next game, the frontman got very upset and he was like, "You're ruining the fairness of the game." I don't know why I turned to Jigsaw, but he was like, "You're ruining the fairness of the game. The whole point is everyone is meant to have an equal chance." And I'm like, then why did you give Gihun a fucking knife? Which that, destroys everything else, because we get an Ilnam cameo, kind of, and we get to see what happened with Inho and his time during the games, and he actually killed everyone. That's how he won. He didn't make it to the last game. He killed everyone in their sleep because Ilnam gave him a knife. And I don't understand why this is a thing. This completely goes against what Inho has shown to believe, and that is fairness. Giving Gyun a knife is not fair. So that really pissed me off. It genuinely did. But regardless, that whole thing happens, and now we can get back to what I was talking about earlier, which was the final game, and Gihun actually dies. I'll be honest with you. The moment itself, I think, could have been way better. Like when he's saying, we're not your horses. We are humans. Humans are," which is the name of the episode. And then he just falls. Like, am I dumb? What was he meant to say? Like, humans are what? Humans are what? Like, what the fuck? And he falls and he actually dies. And I was genuinely surprised. I did not think that Gion was gonna die. I really didn't. But yeah, there was that. And then the island blows up, and all of the employees are on a ship that gets away. And this ending was so underwhelming. Look, is it a realistic ending? Yes. Is it the ending that we wanted? No. No. I got no satisfaction out of this. This ending was pretty bad. Cool. A baby won Squid Game. Great. And I do like that Inho gave the baby to Junho. I thought that was pretty good. But come on. Why? This whole thing was just so unsatisfying. But they do show that there is still some good left in the front man. Or, well, I wouldn't say there's good left, but he really respected player 456. He really, really did. And that is shown in even like his last scene of when he goes and gives his quote unquote belongings to his daughter, which I will just say I don't understand this as to why. I need someone to explain this to me, please, like I'm an idiot. Why did he give Gihun's daughter his clothing? And also, why did he give her the card? Why did he give her money? Gihun didn't win. I'd say it's out of respect, but I don't think the frontman's higher ups would really, I don't think they would not notice 45.6 billion won gone. But yeah, there's that. And then what the show actually ends on is something which I shall get back to. What I want to talk about before that is what happens to Gion's money. I don't know. I don't know. They show him. They show the money in his room, and someone with a suit or something breaks in and looks at it. Now, I assumed that this was the front man because, I mean, that's what I thought he was going to give his daughter, was all the money. But I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened there. There wasn't even like a post-credits scene or anything explaining this. So there was that. And then how the show actually ends is Inho stuck in traffic and looking in an alleyway in Los Angeles and seeing a white American woman doing the dark chi thing. Now, I find this interesting because I thought that it would be like games based on the place that you live in, and dark chi doesn't really seem like an American thing. I'm no genius, but like, come on. So this is, when it's revealed that there are games around the world, which does beg the question: why are there Americans in the Korean Squid Game? Like, what the hell was the point? I thought when I saw like Americans, the VIPs show up for the Squid Games, I was like, okay, clearly this is something unique to Korea. But why did I say like Korea? Korea. But then them showing that there's an American Squid Game, it's like, what the fuck's the point of the VIPs coming here? So, yeah, the ending was very underwhelming. I feel like it should have been way, way better. The only storyline which I was pretty happy with how it ended was the whole Noel storyline with player 246. That I thought was quite nice. So, yeah, everything else I thought, as far as the conclusion goes, was very disappointing. Very, very, I wouldn't say half measured, but like mediocre, I guess. So yeah, that is it, guys. That is the end of Squid Game. I'm sure there will be at some point some sort of spin-off or something. I remember the actor that plays Inho on like I don't know if it was Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, something, some sort of Jimmy show where he was like, you could choose either like the blue button or the red button, and they were like, what about a frontman spin-off? And he like pressed the blue button. So I hope we get a frontman spin-off. That would be cool. But yeah, that's the end of Squid Game. Guys, please let me know what your guys' thoughts were on the show when it first released, because I wasn't really posting much when this show first released. Let me know your thoughts on season 2, and most importantly, obviously, season 3. Which scenes were the most heartbreaking this season, in your opinion? Which episode was your favorite, honestly? But most importantly, I want you to let me know, what do you think of the ending? I would love to know people's opinion on this ending because I've seen very mixed reactions. But yeah, please, honestly, it's kind of sad. This is the last time I'll ever be talking about Squid Game, and I'm pretty sure it's like the first. So yeah, that is it. Goodbye, Squid Game. Please, everyone, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like, subscribe, and goodbye.